The morning after the Knicks won the finals, my neighbor woke me up, banging on my front door. Not knocking, banging. When I opened it, he was standing on my porch in pajamas, pointing toward my driveway. At first, I thought someone hit my car. Then I saw the tires. All four were flat. The rubber had been sliced open, clean enough that it did not look random. Then, I saw what was sitting on the hood. A cheap, blue and orange Knicks lighter, broken down the middle. I had seen that lighter the night before. I had heard it too. I'm 26 and I live in Queens. I don't really watch basketball anymore. The Spurs backpack was old. That's all it was. I got it in college, back when my friends and I used to watch the games and pretend that we cared more than we did. It was black, faded, and still held my laptop without killing my shoulder, so I kept it. I wasn't trying to make a statement. I definitely wasn't trying to walk through Midtown after the Knicks beat the Spurs and won the championship with the Spurs logo on my back. Every city has fans that take things too far after a big win. But that night, walking past Madison Square Garden with that logo on me felt like I had put a target on myself. The streets around MSG were packed. People screamed from their car windows. Fireworks cracked between the buildings. Sirens bounced up the glass towers, mixing with chants. Most of it felt like a celebration. But every few seconds, there was something underneath it. A bottle shattering. Someone yelling too angrily. Police pushing a group back from an intersection. As I walked toward the subway, a guy in the Knicks jersey pointed toward my backpack. Yo, wrong city, bro. A few people laughed. Someone booed. I gave that fake smile you give when you just want strangers to leave you alone. Most of them did. One man didn't. He stood near a trash can at the station entrance, wearing a black hoodie under a blue Knicks jacket. He was maybe in his 30s, with a flat, expressionless face. In his hands was a cheap Knicks lighter. He wasn't lighting a cigarette. He was looking at my backpack. I turned away and went down into the station. The platform was crowded enough that I convinced myself I was fine. People were still chanting. Two guys were arguing about the final score like it personally mattered to them. Then, I saw him again. Same black hoodie. Same blue jacket. Same lighter. He stood near a column, half hidden by a group of fans, but his eyes were on me. I told myself it was a coincidence. Everyone was leaving from the same place. When the Queensbound train pulled in, I got on. He got on too. At first, that didn't mean anything. The car was still busy. There were Knicks jerseys everywhere. People were loud, drunk, exhausted. I sat near the middle with my backpack in my lap, Spurs logo facing down. For a few stops, I let myself relax. Then, the train emptied. The cheering got off in pieces. First, the loud group by the doors, then the couple leaning on each other, then the woman recording herself. The car grew quieter after every stop. Deeper into Queens, there was only one other passenger left besides me and him. An older man asleep at the far end. At the next stop, even he got off. The doors closed. And suddenly, the car felt too long, too bright, too empty. In the dark window across from me, I could see the man sitting 3 rows behind me. He leaned forward. You from San Antonio? I didn't answer. Then I said, no. He smiled a little. Then, why are you wearing that? I looked down at the bag. It's old, I said. From college. He nodded slowly, like I had confessed something worse. So you don't even care. I tried to laugh. It came out wrong. Not really, man. I'm just going home. He stood. The lighter disappeared into his pocket. When his hand came back out, he was holding a knife. Not raised over his head. Not waved around. Just held low, near his thigh. Like he had already thought about what was going to come next. I stood too. The train slowed, then it stopped. Not at a station. In the tunnel. The sound dropped out all at once. No doors opening, no platform noise, no footsteps from outside, just the low electric hum of the car and my own breathing. I pulled up my phone. No service. He noticed. That won't help, he said. The lights flickered. Once, twice, then they cut out completely. For a second, the whole train vanished. I couldn't see the poles, I couldn't see the seats, I couldn't see him. but then I heard it. A tiny orange flame appeared in the dark. He was closer. Not 3 rows away anymore. 1 row. He was smiling. Then, the flame snapped shut. Darkness. I backed up until my shoulder hit the door. The overhead lights stuttered weakly, just enough to show the aisle in flashes. In one flash, he was stepping closer. In the next, his hand with the knife was lower, hidden partly behind his leg. The lighter opened again. Closer. Still smiling. I remember thinking I was going to die between stations over a backpack that I had not thought about in years. Then, the train lurched forward. Hard. He stumbled sideways. I grabbed the pole without thinking, and the movement pulled me with it. I ducked past him, close enough to smell the smoke on his jacket, and moved towards the door on the other end of the car. The train slowly started moving again, but slowly. Too slowly. The announcement crackled overhead, distorted and useless. I could see the station lights beginning to appear through the windows. I was almost there. Then, the backpack yanked backwards. His hand closed around one of the straps. For 1 awful second, I was stuck. The strap dug into my shoulder and pulled me toward him. My feet slid on the floor. I heard him breathing close behind me. I twisted my body and shoved my backpack forward with both hands. The strap scraped hard against his arm. Something on the buckle had cracked against the pole. Then, it came free. The doors chimed. I ran before they were fully open. The platform blurred behind me. Someone shouted as I slammed past them. I didn't stop. I didn't look back until I reached the stairs. That's when I tripped. My foot caught the edge of a step, and I went down hard on my hands and knee. Pain shot up my arms. For half a second, I was on all fours, staring at the dirty tile, listening to the footsteps behind me. Fast footsteps. I forced myself up, and I kept running. I got out at the station, even though it wasn't my stop. I don't think I made that decision. My body understood that staying on that train was not an option anymore. Outside, Queens felt too quiet. A few people stood near a bodega. A car rolled by, with someone shouting about the Knicks. Normal sounds, normal streetlights, normal buildings. But it didn't feel normal. I cut left twice. Then, I crossed the street for no reason. I stood outside the bodega until my phone had service again. I checked the window reflection behind me. No blue jacket. No black hoodie. No man with a lighter. I took the long way home. 1 block over, 2 blocks back, around a laundromat. I kept looking in the parked window cars, storefront glass, anything reflective. But I never saw him. By the time I reached my block, I had almost convinced myself that he got off and gave up. That's the thing about fear when it passes. It tries to turn itself into embarrassment. Inside my house, I locked the door, then the deadbolt. Then, I checked both again. I texted my old group chat from college. Almost got attacked over that stupid Spurs backpack. One friend wrote, "Bro, after their Knicks title, you picked the worst night." Another said, "Throw that bag away immediately." Then, I sent a picture of my scraped palms and a cracked buckle. I barely slept. Every time a car passed outside, the light slid across my ceiling, and I saw that lighter again. When I finally woke up, the sun was already coming through the blinds. Then my neighbor started banging on my door. I walked outside barefoot and saw the tires first, then the lighter, blue and orange, broken in half, placed carefully on the hood of my car, directly below the windshield. Not dropped, placed. My neighbor kept asking if I wanted to call the police, but I couldn't answer, because all I could think about was the walk home, the side streets, the bodega, the reflections I had checked, the turns I took because it made me feel safer, the fact that none of it mattered. He had not just followed me off the train. He had not just followed me out of the station. He had followed me all the way home. And now every time I look out the bedroom window, I'm worried that I'll see him staring right back at me.